Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I get today's video started, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I hope your day is going well. And thank you for your comments on the last videos. Thank you for sharing your stories. It truly lets us know we aren't alone in the pain and problem of either growing up in a home with a narcissist parent or parents, or being married to or dating a narcissist, or dealing with so-called friends that are narcissists. All of it helps others that are going through the same thing we are. It helps them know they aren't alone. And to see what you might have done to have a more productive life, so they might be able to do the same thing for themselves. With that being said, I wanted to talk about dysfunctional families are basically factories for creating narcissists and creating codependents. And I will say, no matter what the laws are like, you won't be able to completely stop dysfunctional families that turn out such individuals. However, by changing the laws to fair, and making it so court is only needed in extreme, and I do mean extreme cases, you will see the number of these types of families start to drop. Here's the thing. Narcissists want to have families so they can have an endless supply of narcissistic supply in their sons and daughters. Now when two narcissists get together, it's one thing. But if you have a narcissist pair up with someone that is by and large decent, that son or daughter still has a fighting chance at a normal life. But in our current family court system, that fighting chance is oftentimes taken away. Let me use my situation growing up as an example. My narcissist mother used having my brother and myself as an income. That's right, I was an income. And she lied about my father to get him out of the home and to have no rights in my brother's and my life. Soon after he passed away of a heart attack. My mother knew before my brother and I were even born that the system favored her, and that she could tell pretty much any lie and get away with it. You see, narcissists plan and plot things. If you have a piece of property the narcissist wants for themselves, they will look up and figure out how to get that property out of your name and into theirs. They will figure out how to get you to commit to them without having any type of boundary or protection for yourself. This is what narcissists do. They scan, they plan, and they plot. My mother, because she was turned into a narcissist by her mother, and she was kept from school for many years of her life, and placed into special education programs. Like many of us. As this happened to me as well. As this is a form of control by the narcissist parent. And them messing up your education so you have limited options once you become an adult. And you have to rely on them, your narcissist parent, for everything. Well, my mother wasn't qualified to do much in the way of jobs. So she set out to be the best at manipulating people to get whatever she wanted in life. And she wanted an income that would last her many years. So she ended up with my father, and once she had my brother and I, she quickly divorced, lied about my father, and took my brother and I from him. And any attempts my father made to let the court know that my mother was mentally ill and that she was messing up his sons' lives, was met with disbelief. But was it disbelief? Here's the thing. Though my mother was very convincing. And it's important to know that narcissists are masters. Masters at convincing others they are the true victim of someone else that is really innocent and the real victim. But the courts know this scam happens and has been happening for decades. And now and then a judge might be able to find a loophole in the law that allows he or she to help out in the best interest of the son or daughter of the parents that are in court. But this is rare. Most of the time, though the judge may know what is going on is a mess, they will still hand down rulings, in my opinion, that puts all the control into one parent's hands. Oftentimes the parent that is completely mentally unfit to be a parent. Now, as I mentioned, if two narcissists pair up, it's one thing. Because though they do divorce and split up too, they oftentimes stick together for the reason of narcissistic supply they get from their families. But if one day it was said that it's been released the current family court system is doing more harm than good, things can be revamped to make things fair for all. Look, we live in a world now where most people have the ability to work in some form or way. And if they don't, there is training to help out with that. If there is a family breakdown, unless there are serious circumstances, both parents need to be active in their sons' or daughters' lives, in all areas. Now, if one parent is well-to-do and the other isn't, that parent might pay for the private school out of their pocket to the school directly, not to the other parent. Do you see what I mean? It's not given to the other parent for them to pay. No. The parent with more money can pay for these things out of their pocket to the school or whatever it is they are paying for, directly. You know, I've been told by some young men before, saying what they would do if they were ever in the situation where they had a son or daughter and they were brought to court. They said they would bring receipts of all the things they are financially doing for their son or daughter to prove they are supporting them. And I looked at them and said, you know that doesn't matter, right? They looked at me in disbelief. I said, the court doesn't care how many receipts you have. It will just figure out how much money it can get from you a month, and then take it. Now, it's important to point out, there are women that have more money than men and could be affected in the same way. However, we still have a very old-fashioned court system that sees things a certain way, when in reality it in most cases doesn't match up to what is really happening in present-day society. Now, in this instance where someone was able to prove they are a support parent, that sounds logical, that should and could be something one can do for their defense. But in this wacky system it in most cases has no weight. There are parents that are parents, and that want to continue to be parents. And no matter how much proof they have they are a good parent, the court system often makes a ruling stripping that parent of their ability to properly and effectively be a good parent to their son or daughter. And when this happens, the son or daughter is oftentimes left into the hands of a narcissist parent. And in my case, my father couldn't hang on, probably due to the stress, and he passed away. And before you know it, you have a series of codependents and narcissists processed and built in this factory, aka the dysfunctional home. And then they are released into society to repeat the cycle in mass numbers. And you don't see too many people in the family court system standing up saying one word about it, because that is how they have become rich. Yes. Now and then you get someone that spills the secrets about what is really going on, but it sadly doesn't catch like wildfire like it really should. You see, people talk about how society is getting worse and worse and worse, how the people are getting worse and worse and worse. But then look at how most families are split up, or what we call broken homes. And there's a good chance if there was a parent that cared about being a parent, they were lied about, marginalized, and financially destroyed at the hands of the parent that was likely a narcissist. And those sons and daughters are now in the hands of this narcissist parent, learning lie after lie. And their heads are being filled with all kinds of things that will set them up for failure when they are an adult. All to repeat this terrible cycle they once grew up in all over. This is why when you see or hear people getting mad at one another online, about this or that, regarding what is fair, you see a great amount of people silent. A great amount of people that can make a difference. But that free money and all the power and control is just too tempting. The Most High teaches us that absolute power corrupts. And people can get drunk with power if they are given too much. And it seems that is what is going on in the family courts. And as a result, families like mine and yours happen way too often. And no one cares. And no one is there to help. Though my brother is a narcissist and I have no contact with him. And he literally can't stand me. It just makes me so upset to know that if he had a chance at a normal life, he might not have gone down the road he has gone down. I might not have had all of the life problems I have had. And I'm pretty sure you out there have thought the same things. Lives are ruined by narcissists. And when I was growing up I had no say-so or control over what was happening to me and my life. But the choices that were made for the so-called best interest of me. It feels like a sick joke. Because I believe those that run that machine know. As those that have spilled the secrets have stated that most that work there know the evil that system is. But it makes them too much money for them to stop what is going on. Plus, narcissists and other evil people have to work somewhere. Why not work in a field where you can hand down unfair rulings to decent people? So what needs to be done? Change one law. Or get one ruling in your favor. And get it to spread. There are a few attorneys out there that are honest and that care. And some of them are taking these cases for free. These people need more social media presence. And they need to be posting every week if they can. And when they get a ruling in their favor, they need to share that information if they can legally do so. So others can work to get similar rulings in their state. That's the only way change will happen. Because like I say, even if we can have a change happen, you will still have toxic people and toxic families. However, if you have a change you can hopefully get those numbers to drop. It's about giving innocent people like you and I a chance at life. And like I've said several times and I will say it again, the narcissist parent will more than likely default on their responsibilities as a parent if they are made to do things in a fair way. Meaning that they had to pay for things out of their own pocket. And share their own time with their son or daughter. Eventually they would drop out of their son's or daughter's life. And you would see who the real narcissist is. But it's sad. And I think people like you and I are more common than we know. Others just cover it up better I think. Because this broken split up family has been made commonplace by our society. But then they talk about how this person is depressed. And that person has this problem or that problem. But no one is looking at the breakdown of the family. And you see the birth rate and marriage rates dropping. And that's because smart people know the system is a win for the narcissist and a lose for the person out there trying to do the right thing. So they are opting out. But there are still just enough people to enter the machine to keep the machine grinding away. Look. I believe people that are by and large decent can do bad things. We are all capable of bad. All of us. But if you have a voice telling you over and over and over and over to do this bad thing, and that you won't get into trouble for doing it, and the other person will have to pay you for your bad choices, it becomes very difficult for some people. Not all people. But some people to say no to that voice. No matter if that voice says, well, you didn't date much when you were growing up. So now it's time you have fun. Even though you are married with a son or daughter. Or you're entitled to this or entitled to that. And because of all we are surrounded by in society. And how the courts in many of these cases helps along and enables these bad choices. It becomes easier and easier for more and more people to go the way of narcissistic thinking and to make terrible life choices. That literally turns their homes into a narcissist and codependent factory. With sons and daughters growing up to usually being one or the other. You know. I wish someone cared enough to make a change when I was growing up. I bet you did too. I bet you did too. But in our society narcissists aren't just surviving, they are thriving. Because they oftentimes get rewarded for the evil they do to others. But if you make things fair, yes, you will still have narcissists. But you will have less of them becoming narcissists as a result of the fairness. So what do? if you are so inclined. Write some of the decision makers in your area. Make a YouTube video. Write a blog. Ask why aren't people more upset. This is going on and has been going on for decades now. Ask why do we complain so much that society is messed up and people are messed up, but not looking at the more than likely root cause of all of this. Highlight and talk about how those that work for this machine get rich and at times wealthy off of this dysfunction. And then what you do is look at those that oppose you for speaking logical, for speaking with reason and trying to do the right thing. And then you will know that there are a great amount of individuals out there that like these factories that create narcissists and codependents. And there's a good chance their home is one of these factories as well. But next time you shake your head and say, wow, society is really going downhill. Think about the origins as to why. And when you come up with the answer, do your part. Even if it's a small part. Do your part if you can to make things better. With that said, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to be a part of this channel's growth. And if you would like to support this channel even further, you can do so by the way of Patreon. And for those that are already supporting there, I humbly say thank you, thank you, thank you. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.